So let's move on to the ground cover and the hatch patterns that we're adding into this landscape. So you'll notice that we have some hatch patterns inside the stepping stones, inside the concrete walk areas, and our bench, our fountain, inside the fountain, and then we're also using them in the ground cover areas. So let me start with the hardscape areas. Go over here and go to the hatch layer, and then we'll start by hatching these stepping stones. So an appropriate hatch style, I've picked H for hatch. Appropriate hatch style for this is going to be AR sand, and we'd like to use that. I'm not sure exactly we're going to go down in scale, and let's get a little sample of that and see what it looks like. There's really not enough there. See if we can get some more. Maybe we need to go bigger. Okay, so I'm seeing nothing here. Go down to 1, and that looks better. So the hatch scale, you can see I'm playing with that. Set that at 3. And the hatch transparency will make that 0 so we can see that a little bit better. And hit enter. So now we have 1 locked in, and we can repeat that hatch pattern by clicking H again and then clicking inside each of these boxes. Now we have one right here where it's only going to select the outside or the inside of the tree, but what we can do in that situation is select the object that we'd like to hatch inside, and it will get the entire object, which is great. So now that we have that hatch pattern set in, let's go ahead and complete the other areas that have that same hatch pattern, which is concrete. And here, and hit enter. So now all of these hatches are one single hatch. So if you want to change them, you're going to have to change all of them together. Otherwise, you can select pieces at a time and modify them individually in the future. And here, and we're done with that. So now we have the concrete areas hatched. Next thing we want to do is add a hatch to these walls that have been created for the bench seating area and for the fountain. So we have 1 and 2, and we need a different pattern for that. So we're going to go with a dot pattern, and that gives it a light shading, which works pretty well to identify this as a solid wall. And I'm going to go ahead and set that at 10. And hit enter. The next one will be these walls there. And then finally, let's do a pattern inside, which will represent the water. It's inside the fountain. And it's a little bold, so I'm going to set the hatch transparency at 50%. So it's about a little bit shaded. And there we go. So that gives us the concrete hatch areas.